Haya. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. I was telling His Excellency there that we should have started this meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is a very important subject that you don't bring in the afternoon. Most people are tired. But I'm very happy to be here this afternoon. And let me begin by saluting the people of Kenya who braved a painful struggle, not only to give themselves a new constitution, but also to make the word constitution a popular and a valid subject for discussion in our country. Those who have come of age towards the tail end of the very protracted struggle under this constitution may not believe it. But there was a time when being perceived to be harboring thoughts about a new constitution landed people in jail. I wish to pay unreserved tribute to those citizens of Kenya, the living and the dead, who braved the worst in order that Kenya may get a new constitution. And here, you may remember some of them. The late Masinde Muliro, my father Jaramogi Odinga, Martin Shikuku, George Ndenge, Ahmed Bamariz, Philip Gachoka, and then my other teams, the Young Turks, Paul Mwite, James Orengo, Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, Jua Ger, Toby Manyara, Professor Kitui. And then members of my parliamentary select committee who started the serious process of making a new constitution. One of them, His Excellency the President here. The other one, son of Anna, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. The other one, Kalonzo Musyoka, Noah Katanangala, the late George Anyona, Martha Karua, those others there. I want to congratulate all, and there are so many other Kenyans who made it possible for us to have a new constitution. With the proclamation, I want to first say that I want to thank the government and the president for proclamation that has made this day a Katiba Day possible now and into the future. With the proclamation, we have transitioned from fearing to celebrating a constitution. It is my belief that this annual Constitution Day will be an avenue for a robust take on our constitution, what works and what is failing. That was never allowed in the past. I want to encourage Kenyans to engage with this new development now and into the future in the interest of our nation. I'm being very deliberate here in my reference to the nation. It is my firm belief that whatever dreams we choose to pursue, either individually or collectively, we need to have a country first. We must preserve the territory known as the Republic of Kenya first. Then, within that territory, you can agree or disagree on the validity of our dreams as individuals or a nation. Since we promulgated the Constitution 2010, we have reaped a bountiful in some areas and a whirlwind in others. I wish to reflect with you on how some of the institutions that came with the Constitution have improved our country where others have left plenty of room for improvement. Fellow Kenyans, before the 2010 Constitution, the High Court was identified as a core enabler of the maintenance and extension of tyrannical rule in Kenya. Out of that period, you can barely recall any decision of the old High Court that upheld the people's fundamental civil liberties. That is the period in which the Attorney General declared that the President was above the law. And I hope that my sister here will not follow suit. It was the period of constitutional amendment that removed the security of tenure of judges. Since 2010, the Constitution and Human Rights Division of the High Court of Kenya has set itself apart from the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court as the most effective vanguard of the people's fundamental civil liberties. The Constitution of 2010 came with a stronger mandate for the Auditor General. From an era where the Office of the Auditor General was heard of only once in a year when it published its reports and dumped it in Parliament. Our Auditor General since 2010 have been bold, brave, and easily identifiable for standing up for the public interest. Indeed, the last attempt by the Office of the Auditor General to secure software and equipment to monitor the spending of public finances on a real-time basis ended up with an attempt to arrest the holder of the office, then Mr. Edward Ouko, and charge him with corruption. Today, we receive constant and intermittent disclosures of financial impropriety and lack of accountability in government. What we receive is a far cry from what we should be having, but they represent a very drastic departure from what used to be. The Commission for Revenue Allocation also came with the new constitution against the background of a past skewed allocation of natural resources. Since 2010, the commission that was established to make recommendations concerning the basis for the equitable sharing of revenue raised by the national government between the national and county governments among the county governments has managed to do so without accusations of political bias. I believe that without the diligent work of the CRA, devolution would have become the single most divisive development in modern Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the institutions of the 2010 Constitution have let the country down, of course, in my estimation. The National Police Service, in my view, has left us worse off than we were before 2010. Abuse of the right to life, degradation of human dignity, torture and denial of security of person by the police have increased under the watch of National Police Service. While the current effort by the government to compensate victims of protests offers some ray of hope with regard to policing, it may be time for the country to rethink its approach to police reform. Your Excellency, I know that they have done it elsewhere. They did it next door here in Tanzania. In Tanzania, the police are civil. When they come to arrest you, they come and salute and say, "Ndugu, naomba nikushike." And then you say, "Twende," and it doesn't have to handcuff you. You just walk. It doesn't have to handcuff you. And you know, there in the UK, I tell people, when you get lost in London, you go to the cop. They're called the Bobby. "Excuse me, could you show me the road to Trafalgar Square?" "Oh yes, Trafalgar Square, yes." "Walk straight on. turn to the left. 100 yards, turn to the right. Straight on. You can't miss it. You say, thank you. Then he says, thank you, sir. In Nairobi, you get lost. Afande, ninyeshe njia ya kwenda Kariakoo. Umepotea? Ndio. Wapi kitambulisho? Sikubeba kitambulisho, niliwacha nyumbani. Una kitambulisho? Bingo. In the cells. Tomorrow you're in court, loitering with the intention to commit a felony. We need to change this. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission equally stands out as an institution that has made no progress securing for Kenyans what they sought. The same issues that Kenyans faced in 1992 when it held its first multi-party elections still hound us. And let us hope that the new electoral commission that we put in place is going to make a difference. Confidence in the commission remains extremely low. Election officials and the processes remain some of the most distrusted and divisive in Kenya. Our elections are some of the most expensive in the world. That is, the cost of per ballot is much higher, 5 times it is in the United States. It never seems to matter how many times we turn over the commissioners or election technology. The doubts remain while the costs get higher. I want to hope that the latest version of IBC will tame the tide against the negativity and doubts that surround the institution. The Director of Public Prosecutions was also a new and exciting creation of the new Constitution. It has largely failed to deliver on the high expectations of Kenyans. Just 1 year before we promulgated the new Constitution, in 2009, Attorney General of Kenya was described by a special rapporteur of the United Nations as the embodiment in Kenya of the phenomenon of impunity. That description remains accurately descriptive of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Kenya today. However much some of the institutions that came with the new constitution have lived below expectations, as a nation, we are in a better place and more hopeful than we were before 2010. And as we work to perfect the areas in which the Constitution is struggling, we also need to take a fresh look at parts of the Constitution whose implementation have been problematic. For instance, Article 1 of the Constitution tells us that the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. Kenyans seem to know how to exercise sovereignty through their elected representatives. You know, you go to the ballot, you elect your MCA, elect your MP, your women rep, your senator, governor, your president. There is zero clarity, however, on how to exercise sovereignty directly to achieve desired results. How do 55 million people exercise direct sovereignty? That's a question for the lawyers. Secondly, I believe the time has come for the country to relook the whole issue of devolution. Kenya, in my view, is too tiny for 47 devolved units. We are just 5 short of the United States, which is a continent. Nigeria, with over 200 million people, has got 34 plus Abuja. South Africa has got 9 provinces. I won't advocate for abolition of any county, but I believe we are ripe for a 3-tier system that has county, regional, and national governments. I believe the articles introduced in the Constitution to strengthen the provincial administration need to be reviewed, the view to abolishing the system. This was an issue at Bomas of Kenya, the provincial administration. And we said it was a relic of colonialism that has no place in independent Kenya. Yet we seem to be reviving it. We equally need a review of all the laws that create national institutions and funds for functions better performed by county governments. We are not opposed to implementing projects at the constituency. But under this constitution, constituency is not a devolved unit. Devolution has two levels, national and county levels. It is not right for the national government to jump the county government and create another unit below the county government where you call it NG. It is not necessary. Work through the county government. The money that we are giving to these people to go and implement projects at the constituency, give it to the counties. The county be the ones implementing. And let Parliament do what is constitutionally mandated to do. Representation, legislation, and oversight. Because if you are yourself a contractor and you are a member of Parliament, who is oversighting you? I've said this amendment that you brought to the Parliament, bring it there, but let us take it to the people. Let us take it to a referendum and test if the people will accept it. Let us check if the people will accept that members of Parliament can be oversighting and also implementing at the same time. Over this, there's no compromise. Tunaenda kwa wananchi. So, Your Excellency, I know that this particular stand is making me very unpopular, but I just don't care. I will stand my ground on this particular issue. With those many remarks, thank you very much. Happy Katiba Day.